So a while ago, I saw a video by Corder Crew where they made a film camera out of a potato. I first saw this video when it was released back in 2018, which was far before I had any interest in film photography. But after rediscovering it, I realized I had all the tools needed to recreate this video to a T. Even better, I had the confidence to improve upon their design. The first and honestly most difficult part of this process was designing the film chamber itself. I grabbed a roll of film and my digital calipers and got to work. The chamber that Nico made was designed to have the film loose inside, meaning it had to be removed from the cartridge before loading into the camera. For my camera, I wanted to be able to load the whole cartridge in, so I went with a design inspired by the famous Leica M series of film cameras. And now we hit print, and 12 hours later we have all the pieces to the camera guts. Let's just skip over the part where I had to redesign the whole thing and print every part a second time because the film was facing the wrong direction when I put it into the first model. Oh, and I also made the knob for advancing the film a lot bigger than the original. By the way, this camera is going to work the exact same way as the Corder Crew version. To take a picture, I will need to remove the lens cap for a pre-calculated amount of time. Nothing fancy here. The next step was to go out and buy something to act as the body of the camera. Since my design was taller than Nico's, I would be hard-pressed to find a potato big enough for the task. So I instead got a rutabaga, since it seemed like the perfect size for my chamber design. All that was left now was to assemble the camera. So with me here today, I have a rutabaga. It's pretty dense, which is a good quality for a camera to have. So I figured it was a good vegetable to make a camera out of. I can't believe this is a sentence I'm saying. So we're just going to carve out a spot for this, and then we have to carve out a channel for the lens to be attached into. With the space for the chamber made, I had to cut a hole in the front to fit the lens into. I learned from some rough measurements that the distance between the bottom of the lens and the film should be about 3.5 centimeters. This was roughly the distance created by a lens adapter I 3D printed a while ago, so I just used that as a kind of optical tube. Another thing to consider when using a rutabaga is that it's not light-proof, which means with no protection, the film will be fogged by the ambient light leaking into the chamber. I covered the chamber in black hockey tape in order to fix this. Even though the hockey tape wasn't light-proof either, I was hoping there would be enough buffers to stop the light from ruining the film before any pictures were taken. Also, in case there were any concerns about me wasting food in this video, I have boiled and will eat all of the scraps. And with that, the camera was complete. All that was left was to load it up and start shooting with it. Okay, so here's a tutorial on how to use the Turnip camera. So after you load it, what you need to do is you need to go into a dark room, take off the top, remove the cap to the chamber. Once you get this far, you take the knob and then turn it 3 half turns. Maybe a little bit more just to be safe. Place the cap back on the chamber, put the slice back on, and taking a picture is as simple as briefly removing and replacing the lens cap. And then you go back in the dark room and do that for every picture you want to take. Okay, so simply put, this camera's kind of a pain to use, but this isn't a project I did because I thought it would be easy, so I really don't mind. Let's start taking some pictures. The first shot was of the guitars in my basement. I decided to shoot all the pictures at f11 since the zone of focus was fairly wide with that aperture. Alright, here we go, the first exposure. From there, I went off taking random pictures around the house. I captured the other 2 rutabagas I bought that I didn't turn into cameras, a mirror shot of the camera and my face, a shot of the haunted china cabinet in my laundry room, an abstract long exposure with light painting, and a shot of an old-style house phone we have. Once I was satisfied with the number of pictures I shot, I removed the film from the rutabaga and rewound it back into the canister by hand. There it is. There is my Turnip camera roll. Let's develop it. Alright, see what we got. Oh, there's pictures. Wow, okay, I'm gonna hang this up to dry. So yeah, the experiment actually turned out really well. I honestly did not think the results would be as good as they ended up being. Besides the framing and alignment issues, these pictures are almost perfect. Well, at least for a rutabaga. I was even able to focus the camera correctly, which I did using a measuring tape and the number markers on the lens itself. I think my favorite picture of the bunch is either the mirror shot or the long exposure. I love how the mirror shot, as well as most of the other pictures, shows the hockey tape occluding the image projected onto the film by the lens. However, I also love that the long exposure has scratches and even a rip in the film. To me, the photo perfectly tells a story of photographic experimentation taken to the extreme, and I love it. And that's it. I hope you all enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching, everybody.